The scientific revolution ushered in the current age of knowledge and understanding that we, quite honestly, take for granted in modern times. It has brought about the world of modern technology, a world of wonder, a world of gizmos and gadgets. We understand the mechanisms of the universe and describe them in precise detail. We've taken and distilled matter so far that it barely makes sense anymore. We're at a point where, in order to even understand the nature of reality, we must represent the world in wave functions and probabilities. In order to unify the world within what we may understand, we have broken it down into particles so small that we could only ever hope to detect them by smashing other particles together at near what we've determined to be the speed limit of the universe. We've wined and dined the universe so much that it's nearly been completely undressed, save for one last piece of fabric, and even still, we can't seem to bring it all together. In our search for knowledge and understanding, we've abandoned the very concepts which drove us to ask these questions in the first place. We've replaced what used to be a world full of knowledge to be discovered and mysteries to uncover into a mundane reality where we already understand everything. We've left that which allowed humans to endure for most of our history in the past, when it needs to be at the forefront of our future. We've abandoned the mysticism of the world and abandoned spirit. Hey, I'm Alex, and this is a short rant on demystification. I hope you enjoy. People have picked up scientific theory like it's the religion of the universe and left behind any possibility that there might be something more. People look up to the stars and no longer wonder why they were put there, but whether little green men are going to come falling out of it. We've collectively locked ourselves in a box where the only solutions we may find in the world are those which come from data and evidence, instead of searching within and holding faith. People have adopted a dogma of meaninglessness and foolishly attached it to the life we all live instead of believing that we may be here for a purpose. We write off the strange and unexplained events in our life as mere coincidence instead of believing that the universe itself may be living, breathing, and alive. For in our human arrogance we have begun to believe we must have been the highest being in the universe, and like Icarus we have crashed and burned from having flown too close to the sun. We have begun to believe that what we consider consciousness must be the highest form of existence in the universe, and abandoned the beliefs that all of our ancestors once held. We look at their faiths, their religions, and we write them off as the ramblings of ignorant fools instead of acknowledging that they may have held wisdom we have discarded as trash. We call any who may question this notion the religious and holy men, the hippies and trippers, the spiritualists and believers, crazy and ignorant. But have we ever considered that they may lead better and more fulfilling lives than those without may ever live? I'm not bashing on science. It's incredibly helpful for understanding how the universe works. Many of the amenities and conveniences we rely on every day would be impossible without the study and research in academia and the scientific field at large. But we've gotten so wrapped up in the how that we've stopped asking why. Why is it that consciousness has arisen on a floating rock in space? Why is it that life is abundant on this one planet within a universe which, by all methods of measurement, seems to be infinite? Why is it that we continue to exist and look for purpose in our lives every day? Why is it that despite all the scientific evidence pointing to a meaningless universe which we give purpose to, do people turn to spiritual aspects of it daily? Why is it when the material world isn't enough to satisfy, we turn to matters of the soul and not matters of the flesh? Why is it that no matter how far we pick apart the universe, there always seems to be more and more to uncover? We explain away all the truly mind-boggling mysteries of the world and truly miraculous synchronicities. When we have a thought and that thought seems to appear in the world, we assume luck and happenstance have brought that into existence instead of something greater. when we can see and feel the effects of lingering spirits in the world, called ghosts by most, we say there must be a scientific explanation, and not that there must be more to human experience than merely what we can observe and quantify. We are too quick to look up at the stars, wishing for visitors from above, than to acknowledge you may be able to find a more powerful and magnificent being while sitting at home, watching TV, getting a cup of coffee, or sitting alone in a pool of our own tears. We lean on the Big Bang Theory as the method by which the universe was created, but accept that alone while ignoring one of the most crucial aspects of physics as we know it, the law of inertia. As put forth by Isaac Newton, every object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change its state by an action of an external force. In other words, it's simply conservation of energy. But to put it another way, every effect must have its cause, and there is no effect without its cause. A donut doesn't exist just because it happened to be there. A donut exists because it was crafted by somebody who wanted to spread diabetes, or, just like sweets. If we simply take a second to acknowledge that if the universe had simply sprung up from nothingness, then it never would have sprung up at all. It becomes clear that there must have been something to cause the Big Bang. But what? This is where science begins to fall apart. Science is not equipped, nor was it ever equipped, to answer unknowable questions. Any self-respecting scientist would tell you there is no way they could know what happened before the Big Bang. Because scientists are to be trusted on these matters, the majority of people take that to mean the universe just randomly began to exist. It couldn't be further from the truth. It's matters like this where faith is the only answer, as can be attested to by anybody who has truly found God. We look at the theory of evolution as a way to disprove the Bible and the existence of God, but can we really make such assumptions from a theory, even if it is true? Let's ignore the current missing link in human anthropology. Let's ignore all the jumps that life made from its photosynthesizing beginnings to large carnivorous beings roaming on land. Instead, let's ask one simple question. Why? Why did life emerge at all in the manner in which it did? Those holding tightly to evolution would say that it was a mere coincidence mixed with comparative advantages. What if it was all divinely guided? What if there was a hand guiding the process through every stage so that our species, who we are, could exist and be who we are today? Have you ever truly examined all the plants and animals which inhabit the earth, and all of the peculiar and interesting shapes and quirks which they all possess? What if evolution was the guiding hand by which all animal species may come about? What if evolution doesn't disprove God, but gives us a better insight as to how all the species may have been created in the first place, exactly as science would have intended? We want to analyze and deconstruct everything until we understand every last detail. Perhaps that was the sordid part of possessing the original sin, the lust for knowledge. In our endless pursuit of understanding, we begin to look at a tree as a tree, the grass as the grass, and the crickets as the crickets, instead of seeing what they form together, the forest. Science is the practice of examining the individual parts, but faith, religion, and spirit is the practice of knowing the forest as a whole. Here's my point. Don't let magic and mysteries of the world be explained away by matters of pragmatism and collections of numbers. Don't let that which gives the world meaning fade from the face of the planet. Don't abandon faith and instead lean into meaninglessness. Choose to believe, choose to have faith, and choose to know that we are here for a reason and a purpose. Choose to know God. We have all these ideas of what aliens would do if they ever came to Earth, how it would upend the world as we know it, how they could disprove all religions. But there's a possibility we haven't considered. What would we do if little gray men came down from the skies, exited their flying saucers, and the first thing they said to us wasn't "take us to your leader," or "you're going to destroy your world," but instead they asked us, "Do you know God?" Thanks for listening. This has gone a little longer than I intended, but I hope you like it anyway. This is my first attempt at a fully scripted video, so I hope that it goes over as well as the last video I kinda scripted. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on it. It really helps. If you have something to say or add, leave a comment. And if you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead and subscribe. I've been Alex. This has been a short rant. Sorry, I got tongue-tied, and I don't feel like redoing this part. I wish you well, and God bless. Peace.